Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to talk to you guys about new metal and where did new metal come from. And for me, I think new metal was invented by the band Korn. I know a lot of you guys might say, well, no, it wasn't Korn. It was technically Disturbed, System of a Down, Trapped, and bands like that came out in the early 2000s. And some of these guys aren't even considered new metal anymore. If you listen to Papa Roach, they were really heavily new metal, like on their first album, and everybody's like, yeah, that's new metal. And now you hear Papa Roach and go, no, they're more like a modern day rock band. They're not new metal. But back in those days, they were considered new metal because new metal was basically like a commercial version of metal. It was heavy, it had a bit of an edge to it, but it also was very commercialized. It was on the radio, MTV would play it, it was getting a lot of attention, and it was not like any other genre of metal at the time. A lot of people either hated it because it was kind of cookie cutter, or people loved it, like myself. I loved new metal. I thought it was one of the greatest genres of metal for the time. It really got me into metal, to be honest, because I was probably 14 when it came around, 15, and I was just starting high school in 1999, and that's when they first had Woodstock 99, and they had like Limp Bizkit, and Korn was very popular, and they had Disturbed coming out in 2000, and then you had Linkin Park and all these other bands. And I still listen to this day some of Linkin Park. Their older stuff was really good. System of a Down is one of the biggest new metal bands, and they're one of the best bands that I think came around. But the reason why I think Korn was the innovators of this genre, new metal, is because they were playing 7-string down-tuned 7-string guitars when most people at that time weren't even playing down-string guitars or even playing 7-strings at the time. It was like unheard of to play a 7-string. People were like, what are you doing playing that? That's dumb. And a lot of people to this day were always like, well, how come Korn doesn't play solos? Their music wouldn't fit solos. Their music doesn't fit their genre. It'd be like saying taking like Megadeth or taking Metallica and telling them to play 8-string guitars and start djenting. That wouldn't sound good. You'd have Megadeth djent. That would not even sound great, because Megadeth is more of a thrash band and Metallica is more of a thrashy style band. So the reason, like I said, Korn for me has really innovated that genre. You know, before Korn there wasn't nothing really like that. Like when Jonathan Davis and Korn came out with Blind, and it appeared on MTV, it was like it came out and it was are you ready? Like, no one ever heard anything like that, and no one heard a metal band that innovated like slapping techniques. Like Korn innovated really heavy slapping techniques, very down-tuned guitars with very simple rhythms that was very rhythmic and very percussive, because that band was very percussive and very heavy, and it was a sound that when they first came out, no one ever heard of them. No one ever heard something like that. And I remember sitting at my friend's house, and we were listening to, I think it was, what do they call it, Much Music or Music Choice or whatever it was that you get on like satellite TV, which now I think you can get XM satellite radio, which I think it was called Music Choice. And we were sitting there, and we were in the other room, and they were playing a Korn song. It was a brand new Korn track, and we never heard it before. And we're sitting in his room, and we heard it into the living room and cranked up the music, and we didn't see it say Korn. Okay, we didn't see the label on the TV saying it was Korn. So we're like, dude, that sounded very similar to Korn. And my friend was like, nah, that can't be Korn. That was so heavy. That was so aggressive. And I was like, it probably is Korn. And this is back in the day when everybody didn't have smartphones, and everybody didn't have the internet in their house, so you couldn't just jump on YouTube and search up the new Korn song, because you didn't have the opportunity. So all you had was to wait for MTV or the radio to play it, or your friends to say, did you hear that new Korn track? And it was some of the heaviest thing I've ever heard at that time. I'm not saying nowadays there ain't heavier bands or groovier bands, but at that time I was blown away with what Korn was offering. And to me, that is still the innovators of the new metal genre. I don't care if you say it was Trapped or Linkin Park or whatever, because a lot of those bands were implementing one of two things: very heavy riffs with like electronic beats and electronic little sounds in their guitar, and that's exactly what Korn was doing. They had weird guitar tone and weird guitar sounds, and it was just heavy and it was just aggressive. So to this day, I will always say Korn was the innovators of that genre. You guys can tell me in the comment section below if you guys think that it was another band like Linkin Park or Disturbed or something like that. And I know a lot of you guys nowadays are going, well, Disturbed is not nu metal. Well, back in early 2000, that's basically what they were stereotyped into. When you had Down with the Sickness, that was considered a nu metal album, a nu metal track. That was not considered what it is now. It could be, you say, okay, it's just metal, it's just heavy metal, it's just heavy and aggressive. But back then, no one really knew what it was, so it was classified as what they call it, nu metal. So with that being said, guys, I will definitely talk to you guys in the next one. I just want to put this video out while I was in the car and driving, and let you guys know what I think. If you guys think it wasn't Korn and it was somebody else, let me know. I just think Korn was the innovators, because to be honest, there was never a band really when they came out that sounded like that. You can go back and even watch the video when Ryan from Mudvayne filled in for Fieldy on bass, and he was like, when it first came out, I didn't know what the hell this was. Something different and something fresh. And that's something that I like when bands come out and there's something new and something fresh, and it's something that not a lot of people are doing, because a lot of people were not playing down-tuned guitars in the early 90s. They were still playing standard tuning, and it was more like either grunge rock, like you had with Pearl Jam and bands like that, or it was like Pantera, more like groove, thrashy type metal, or you had like Slayer type stuff. That was what it was. You didn't really have too much diversity, and when Korn came out, they were the band that was very diverse for the time.